Hello and welcome to the Faithbuilding Podcast, episode 24. And I love the number 24 because the 24th is my birthday. Episode 24. Again, and as always, with your lovely and amazing host, Vladi, Kuna,
and Norman Gräter. Welcome.
If you would know how we create those podcasts, it's usually we start talking and then we start digging into deeper things. And usually one of us says, wait. We either should have recorded it already or we should press record. And that's what we did right now because Vladi had a great example. She just came from the post office and I just handed back to Vladi. Just share your little story that you just told me.
You know, there are so many lessons in this morning. One from alignment part. One from serving, giving extra mile, and aligning to do the best you can as an individual, focusing on the best. I was standing I knew I'm meeting Norman the time we said, and I was standing in a line in the post office for quite a while, and the line was massive. And I chose we have two post offices, and I chose the side ones because I knew I have to get back on time. And these two ladies in there serving, one of them did something behind the scenes, like she was doing some labels in there. But this one took like ages with every single person. I mean, the good thing is she was smiling all the time. So I did notice that actually, but you could see that her smile wasn't kind of having a aligned effect to the line who was huge. People were being impatient. People were calling, telling people that they're being late. And the lessons in this is how do we stay aligned? You know, things happen in our life. We can freak out. From a point of a coach, and especially training people in sales and being the mindful sales focused on serving, I did look at the part which I thought like, what could they do better? It's like they could both, the other lady who was not really paying attention to the line, they could both start serving all of the clients because they saw that the line is huge. So, you know, if you align yourself to the highest self, then you know that you want to do your job the best. And I think that's what we all have to come back to ourselves. Like, am I doing the best I can, over-delivering, causing impression of increase? I mean, her smile kind of saved the situation for me too, I have to say. And as Norman always says, smile is really powerful because when we smile wide, you know, it's the chemicals that are released to the body, and smile can change everything for a person. It can really change the other person's attitude as well, which I think it did. But on the other side, of course, you rushed, you know, like you are in a situations where you have to be somewhere and you're now paying attention on the other side of them not doing the job the way they should. And it's easily the whole line of us, if we were in the same energy and stayed in the energy, then we created more of the delays. And I thought about how actually probably all of us in the line, you know, like I did think of that and snapped out of it because I know better. However, I could hear the conversations and texting people and phoning. And it really is that. It's how we all respond or react to the situation, and we make the situation worse, not even realizing that it's actually us who caused ourselves a bigger delay. Now, obviously, everything has two sides. Law of polarity exists. So what could the other side do is focus on being better, you know, like serve more, because sometimes I understand there are so many people who are in the jobs that are not well paid, right? So are you approaching, maybe you're one of them, and are you approaching the job from, well, I'm not paid for this? You will never align yourself to the higher self and a higher frequency if you come from that point. No matter what, you have to say, I am putting my full self forth and just doing the best I can. And just to sum it up before I hand it back to Norman to talk about it is, I remember I used to be in a job, which was in a financial, it was my very initial jobs where I was learning the financials, and I was in an admin job in an insurance company. And we had the best time ever. We had the best team. We had the most fun. We had the best friendships. We were having so much fun and joy, going to our last episode, talking about how fun and joy actually really boost your we didn't care. We all stay there more for our friendships and the happiness and the joy. Then all of us used to sit sometimes, for lunch, and we were saying, oh my God, this job is just not. So it's not well paid. We need to all go and find a better jobs. But did we? We actually enjoy the company. And we over-delivered. We grew. And I know that partly because of that attitude in everywhere I am, that's where I am. It isn't always appealing, or it isn't always pretty straightforward to be doing things when you feel that you're not paid, you feel you're not appreciated, you feel you're being boxed by or really kind of held by your boss or whatever it is. But how can you become the highest self in that environment? And then when you reach the higher frequency, you remove yourself from that, but you are fulfilled. So it's not running away from it, but really sliding into the best version and highest version of yourself and showing up as that in the next job and the next job. And that's why you will always do better. Norman, what are your takes on it?
Oh, happy day. Just 3 words. I thought the whole time you told your story, oh, happy day. How about our heart would sing, oh, happy day. There's a German book and more or less it's translated, if you have no time, walk slow. Or if you're in a hurry, walk slow. Where you say, this contradicts each other. This makes no sense. I'm in a hurry. I want to go there fast. Yes, maybe the idea is that you take out the hurry. So you're standing in the line at the post office, or I was standing in a grocery store the other day. 2 long lines, like in Vladi's case. And I thought, I see many people that could work the cash register, but they're just walking around or doing other things. And I saw in my line where I was, there was a trainee sitting because behind her was a supervisor. So actually she got trained. I just took it and I looked around and I thought, oh, happy day. And I looked what other people buy and how much stuff they buy and what's set up next to the cash register in regards to products. And then I approached a cash register and she scanned my stuff, and I think it was maybe 13 euros 84. And I told her, I gave her 50 and I said, oh, I have 84 cents and I wanted to get rid of all my change. And then the supervisor said, give her 4. Just give her 4. Let's see how she takes that. And I told him, if you calculate with her and with me, because I really got in trouble. This only 4 cents. Can you imagine? I mean, school has been quite a while and I thought I'm more or less okay in math. I sat in the car for another 3 minutes and I juggled around if the amount I received back is the right amount. And I thought if I would have been in a situation, how I would have come up with the right amount to give back, until I took my phone and I calculated it. And I thought, okay, that's the thing I need to come out. How do I? So, can you make something fun? Can you say, oh, there's something unexpected? Maybe it works for me. It gives me the chance to learn something or just to calm down. And then you probably say, yes, but I only had 5 minutes. I thought this is going quite fast. Yes, this is what we call self-leadership. Can you, just for the next time, plan 10 minutes or 15 minutes? Can you, instead of rushing through your life, calm down? Because you cannot change the line in the post office or the grocery store, but you can change your calendar and you can change your attitude towards it. Like I always say, the blue glasses. Can you see the good in it? And I had another story I just thought about. I had the inspiration to play the lottery for the first time in my life. I saw a license plate on the Autobahn and I thought there are different numbers, and some inner voice told me, play those numbers. Then I saw a different car with the additional 2 numbers that I needed to have 6 numbers. What I think 6 out of 49. That's what the lottery is called. So I need 6 numbers. So I wrote them down. I signed up. And there was a way to register, and you had to send in your passport that you're over 18 years of age. And it just did not work to prove that I'm over 18. So they said, the system online, you need to go to one of the local lottery stores and just prove that you're over 18. So I thought tomorrow morning, it was Wednesday, and usually the drawing is on Wednesday evening. I will do this in the morning before my next meeting. It's on the way, and I go there. I drive there more or less in time. I get there, and there's a sign in front of the store, I will be right back. And I thought, fuck you. Excuse me, my French. I have no time. I put this stop in on my way to the client, and now nobody's here. So I waited for 10 minutes. Two other people were already waiting. Nobody seemed to come back in the next couple of seconds. So I turned around. I thought, God, what is this trick? I mean, you give me this inspiration, and now you keep me away from proving that I'm over 18 to play the lottery tonight. I don't get it. So I checked my navigation and I saw I drove the wrong way. My client was not in the way I thought he is, where the lotto store is on the way. It's exactly the opposite way. I was kind of late. It took me a while and I could not register that only the next day. So I missed Wednesday. And I thought, I really don't get it. I had to do everything anew. The Wednesday drawing did not work, so I had to do it again online. I put in Saturday and Tuesday. I had no freaking clue what I did. I never played the lottery. Probably I did it wrong. I just saw 117 million euros. I take that. And without knowing what I do, I send it off. It costs 10 euros something. And 2 days ago, I received an email. You're the winner. You're a winner. Let's call it like that. No, you're the winner. You're a winner. You won something. I went to the homepage and this was on service. What's going on here? I cannot check how much I won. I'm gratefully receiving those 117 million and I'm preparing for that and I'm happy and joyful and grateful. And again, self-leadership. Did this thought sneak in to say, but what if it's only €3.50? Shut up. Thought, just shut up. It's 117 millions, but you only played one field and not. Shut up. It will be somewhere between, I don't know, up to 117 million. Guess what? It was €5. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Everything that turned out. And there's still the drawing for Tuesday, and this was yesterday. So I'm waiting for the next email. And no, I'm not playing again. But why I'm telling you the long story is sometimes the long line, the queue, the why are those people not working? It happens for a reason, to show you something or to prevent something or to push you somewhere, because the feeling you have inside is inside, right? So the outside queue, the outside lady at the cash register, she's not the issue. The feeling you have is inside. So the solution can never be found on the outside, that there's no queue next time. It's always on the inside. And that's why we have the Faithbuilding Podcast, that you look more to the inside and check, which feelings do I want to change and which one are serving me well? So what do you think, Vladi?
I love that story. And, it really brings us deeper into, it is us. It is like how we would all love to change the world. And, even I'm writing a book about sales and serving and stuff, and it started certain way. This was an idea which I came up 3 years ago. Now I understand why I waited, because sometimes people rush through things. And that's what actually goes to Norman's story with the ticket. We have this rushed energy in us. I must do it now. It's the pushing against. We're forcing it, and we're creating more and more resistance by allowing ourselves to dwell in it. And this is it. It's us inside. For me, the journey in the book was actually to realize it's not about the sales. It started with how you sell and what are the tactics. Then it moved towards serving rather than selling. But even that, when I was teaching how to serve better, it wasn't the service you provide. It's about, if we have to look inside of us. So if we can train your companies, your employees, your people, your sports people, everyone, it really goes, because we sell every day. Every single one of us sells something. Now, not in a sales kind of sense, but mom sells ideas to other moms. Children sell their toys to other kids because they're ideas. But the thing is, we sell all the time and we don't focus on, who am I? What is the vibration I'm in? And who am I when I'm selling? And that's what we have to come as the inner focus of, if we want this world to change the way that we function and or we don't like or don't do like, with whether you like it, usually it's the dissatisfaction which causes us to pay attention to things rather than happiness. We just tick the box and say, yeah, okay, that works for me. That was fast. But if it's the other way around, we're like, hold on a second. And we feel like we're the one who has been wronged. We're taking it personally to start with. The other part is we're actually blaming others for not functioning properly. And guys, I had a story where we had an important documents coming from US and we paid a next day fly service. The UPS not only didn't deliver, the UK customs held it for 3 weeks before Christmas. And I lost 500. Literally the whole business, and they wouldn't take a responsibility for holding it, for taking it. I went backwards and forth with the management, and obviously they were passing me to other people, and I felt like, what a ridiculous line of excuses from a company instead of owning up and providing its services, because clearly this wasn't actually fault on my part. But like services like to dump it on someone else. Well, it's the UK customs who held it. And I said to them, okay, that's fair enough. But I paid the next day delivery with UPS. So that fee was you haven't delivered it. So, like people keep putting the ball into somebody else's court saying, oh, it's not us. And then you go to the other person and they say, oh, this is not us. And you go like this. And of course, you as a customer who paid extra money to have it there, of course you're upset because you didn't get the services you paid for. And eventually, this story, I will cut it down to one piece. I am using that UPS story in a large scale in my Great Sales Chick book of how not to serve. It wasn't what happened. It was the attitude. It was the not taking responsibility. It was the whole story, which you can read in the book. But I've made a decision. I will not use the UPS again. So for me, is if we are experiences as a masses, because I hear so many people talking about, let's say, Amazon and stuff, and complaining about things, and especially authors, they hardly being paid for books and stuff. Well, if you don't like it, and the corporations have power to do whatever they want, you simply, as a human beings around the world, stop using them. If they will hit for a week, if we all decided for a week not to use Amazon, if we decided all week not to use UPS, do you know how much they would realize that they need to up the service? But we keep pumping up the money and ordering and not really supporting local jobs, local companies, so all these large corporations overtaking. And I know I'm going a little bit far, but the decision is like, where are you standing in that? If you don't like something and you're really unhappy, you don't use that anymore. Do you react or respond? I actually responded. First, I was obviously a little bit of reaction and responding because I knew better how I need to respond. But, I didn't like the responses about their reactions from the other side. And that activates something within you that touches you because we're taking it personally. But really the best lesson is align yourself. Say, I can't change this outcome. And it will always come back to the people. So you don't have to be the one who gives anything back to anyone. You just be the best version of yourself. Respond to things and focus where your energy and attention goes. Because then eventually everybody will sow what they reap. Or is it reap what they sow? I always mix those.
Either way.
But because it comes back to when you don't have to be the one doing anything or revenging or doing anything. Just be the best version of yourself and say, I am in this because maybe I need to learn to be calmer. I need to learn to be more in peace. I need to be responding instead of reaction. Remember, levels of awareness we're talking about, reactions are the very bottom level of awareness out of the 7 is animalistic. Animals react. They survival modes. So we develop our consciousness. So we just stay, breathe, do whatever you need to do and say, what's good in this? What is good in this? Well, we can, by launching, like Esther says, launching our rockets with dissatisfaction for certain services, we can actually bring those companies to look into what it needs to improve and bring a better level of service for humanity, not just us. So how do we approach it? With kindness. Give them a feedback with kindness. Just remember it. In all you're doing, just be kind.
And shout joy to the world or hallelujah or whatever. The joy from within is the thing that sells. Vladi mentioned her sales book. Actually, at the end of the day, if you're really honest, everything you bought, rarely you buy it because you want to have the product, but you hate the salesperson. Then you really want to have the product or you need the product. But the moment you have a choice to choose, you have 3 grocery stores. And in one, the people that work there don't even look at you. You don't go there anymore because it's not up with your values or with the way you want to be treated or with you treat other people. And this brought me to a sentence I heard quite a while ago. People don't leave businesses. People leave people.
Yes.
When people quit from a job, they never leave the company. Because how do you want to leave the company? Do you hate the building? Or do you hate the contract? Or do you hate the tax ID of the company? No. You hate the people that work for the company. Can you as a leader, even though you might be a self-leader, leading yourself because you're doing your own thing, it's only you don't have 20 employees, that's totally okay. Can you be full of joy? Can you talk about the things you do and love in a way that is not sales and pushy at all? Because people can feel what your original aim is. If Vladi and I go to the movies, and this is the best movie of the year, we are happily talking to each and every person on the planet about it. Nobody's paying us. And people then on their own start going there. But how would it change if we talk from the heart about the movie and at the end of the talk we say, so do you want to go? Do you want to go? Yeah, sounds good. When do you want to go? Tomorrow? Tomorrow? I have tickets here. I can sell you the tickets now. Do you want to go tomorrow? Your whole feeling changes. Rather than, can you just be full of joy and tell people about what you love, what you have, what you serve, what you do, what you are, and just let them make the math and say, okay, he or she has a product. I think that's aligned with how I want to feel. And if this product or this movie or this whatever makes him or her feel like that so much joy comes out of their heart, oh, I want to have that too. And I just realized that before we went on record, I had an online meeting with 2 general managers of a company where I will speak very soon. And I realized at the end, because he wanted to start talking about the price, I think this was not fixed yet. I think this was just a call to talk about the possibility. But I blew them so away with my positivity and with what I want to do and how I will do it. I just saw the one general manager always on my top left, the bottom one did not show that much reaction on his face. But I saw the one I have for sure. And I just realized at the end when he said, can we talk about the price? I said, no, that's the thing of my agency. I'm talking about what I will do. So we departed from each other like, okay, we will see each other on the 27th. So all is well. Can you just be full of joy? And if you're working at a grocery store, cash register, or if you're standing in line, and if the line is short or long, can you just be full of joy? Have an attitude of inner joy of hallelujah, I'm alive. The weather is nice, the people are nice. No, they are not nice and it's raining. Then find some joy in the rain. Dance in the rain like children back then. Talk to other people in line, make new friends. I don't know, find something that gives you joy. Because what Vladi shared, you reap what you sow, or the other way around. Whatever it is, you know what we mean. You will harvest more of the things that you put into the ground. And it's not the outside world that's horrible. It's just whatever grew from your seeds that you put every second into the ground. And the moment you touch what has grown, you will shake off some more seeds of it. Which means if you harvest some stuff in the garden, some weeds that you don't like, you get more weeds by just taking them away. And what's the name of the flower we spoke about yesterday?
Dandelion.
Thunderliner, where you blow and those little things fly all over the place, and yes, then you have trillion more of it. The moment you rip one out, you create 100 more just by this one action, which means focus on the good, focus on being happy, being joyful, being like Vladi's top today, yellow, the smiley, the color of a smiley. Put smileys all over the place, like I have them everywhere around here, just to remind me it's a beautiful day, it's a beautiful life. I just love my life.
So true. We're coming to an end, but I'm going to say this, guys. It doesn't matter what people say to you. It's about how they make you feel. And that's what Norman was just pointing out. Sometimes people are trying to say the right thing. And you can see this lots of times in friends and leaderships. In fact, lots of time in a leadership where they're saying, oh, my company. That was such a profound point that Norman made. Hotel without people is not a hotel, it's just the building. It's about the people. So it's the same as in financial sort of coaching we do. We say love people and use money, not the other way around. Because you mix the values. What are your values? And it's the feeling that really comes back to the values, because when you're aligned to it, you feel it. And so many people are saying things and how they love their employees and they don't care. They're saying it just to look good outside in the world, but behind the scenes, they don't really care whether they grow. They're not paying attention to the things they should. And the same thing is, you don't just focus on you. Like, am I serving this? Is this how I want to show up? Is this how I would love to be served? And take it a diamond way further, saying, I would serve them not just the way I would love to be served, I'm going to serve them better than I expect to be served. That is the extra mile that you can take. Because end of the day, we all amazing, but we choose to have a different attitude. And attitude is the key. And maybe that's what we could talk about our next episode, because attitude is, as Earl Nightingale said, the magic word. But I think attitude really is one of the most profound. In my opinion, gratitude and attitude goes really hand in hand as a twins for foundation to succeed. Any final comments, Norman?
Yes, I just realized gratitude and attitude. The word attitude is in the word gratitude. Let's talk about that in the next episode for sure, episode 25. One last comment on what Vladi just shared that just came to my mind that I heard at a conference yesterday. A psychologist said at her final statement, instead of asking people, how are you? Ask them, how do you feel? And you will get a total different reaction. To piggyback that on what Vladi just shared. Instead of asking, how are you? Ask people, how do you feel? Because that's the real truth you get instead of, everything is well. If you ask, how do you feel? You touch a point that's quite deeper. So let's go into attitude in the next episode. Guys, girls, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we are happy to serve you again next week. Until then, have a wonderful week. Bring your smile and your teeth out to the fresh air. Shine bright like a diamond. And we see and hear you next week. All the best. Bye-bye.
See you. Thank you.